Did you always fear like not getting stabbed, getting like?
Well, it depends on what you're doing. It's like, the saying, "I got your back." People don't understand that saying. That saying was developed in prison. When you're talking to me, I got your back, and when I'm talking to you, you got my
You
back.
can see behind you.
And so that's part of the thing. So you always have somebody watching your back. And it was like I had 3 people. I had Tyrone Rye, who was a Mexican with a name Tyrone. So if you said Tyrone wrong, you're in trouble. I would call him Ty. I wouldn't say Tyrone. If you said Tyrone with an African American accent, you might get killed. But
for that little, you get killed.
Yeah, well, his mom loved an actor. What's his name? Tyrone Powell or something.
I don't know.
Tyrone Powell.
Yeah.
And so she named him Tyrone. So he grew up angry, all right? And then Cookie was so pretty that he grew up angry because people thought he was a girl, and he wasn't. He's a killer. And Frog. So these were my posse, right?
And they had your back.
Always.
How many times did they take care of someone when they messed with you?
Ty was, me and him had a little thing going with, this was in the 60s. And, in the 60s, a lot of them young kids were doing acid and flipping out and coming into San Quentin. And so we would approach them and say, look, you might have a problem because you look like a girl. So if you can either come with us, we'll protect you for a certain amount, or go ahead. So they would, I'm a man. But the first time they got a black guy and somebody threatened to kill them if they didn't, they'd come back. Hey, what do I got to pay? So in there, it's protection. Out here, it's extortion. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I mean, and I had, after I got out of prison in 1969, I got letters from family members of kids that we helped for 2 years. Thank you, the Christmas card. And so,
wow,
you got to make your money. Only problem is, if somebody wants that kid, you got to be willing to do whatever needs to be done
to protect them.
Because then if something happens to him, your credibility is kind of shot.
Did you ever, I just imagine myself in a prison cell, in this small prison cell, lying in my bed, staring up at the bunk.
Yeah.
I mean, do you remember those thoughts going through your mind every night when you went to sleep? Like, am I ever going to get out of here? Like, I just want to die. I just want to, like, what was going through your head?
You do if that's your first time, like all that you lost in juvenile hall. Then the next youth authority, you go to sleep. In prison, you kind of, this is my life. This is what I do.
So you're accepting.
You absolutely accept it. And because if you don't, you'll go crazy.
Did you think you were going to, when was the thought of like, I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to change my life. I'm a changed man.
In 1968, there was a riot. Cinco de Mayo, 1968 in Soledad. Now, all the Mexicans thought like Cinco de Mayo, it's independence. No, it's not. The Mexicans won the Battle of Puebla, which is a little stinky town, and they finally won a battle against the Spaniards. So a national holiday. So Cinco de Mayo, everybody thinks it's 5th of May, but it actually means get bail money. Okay, you're gonna go to jail. It's that simple. You're gonna crash your car. Your wife's gonna stab you. You're gonna shoot a gun, something's gonna go wrong. It's that kind of day, and that's why they invented tequila for Cinco de Mayo, to soften the blow, whatever.
But you had this riot.
Unbelievable riot, right?
And
what happened is they brought in an outside baseball team. Cinco de Mayo. Okay, here's guys never been in prison. They're in college. They all got real thick wallets, and it's it was like stupid. I remember Ray Pacheco, a good friend of mine. He's passed away already. I grew up with this kid, right? And he had come down from Tascadero because he had uh, killed his girlfriend because he should have shot the guy that she was going out. But anyway, he killed his girlfriend, and he came down from Tascadero, which is the state mental hospital. But state mental hospital only has 7 years. That's when you only get 7 years on a medical. So they sent him from there. He had 2 years left to Soledad, and this third baseman was chewing gum. You know,
Loudly.
yeah, big, white boy. And Ray's, God, I wish I had some gum, man. He was just almost started crying, wanted some gum. And I said, "You're right, don't mess with that dude, man. He knows karate." It was just
Right.
And I went to the bathroom when I came back. There was a big riot, and Ray had socked the guy with the gum. Henry ruptured the coach. It was alleged that I threw a rock and hit Lieutenant Givens. And,
Did you?
No.
No.
And it was alleged. And so we went to the hole, and Henry yelled out, "Hey, Danny, they're going to top us," because we all had gas chamber offenses. And the thought hit me that, wow, this ain't no joke.
You could die.
Yeah, again. And so it was like, all I said, "Dear Heavenly Father, let me die with dignity," because I remembered this movie. It was with Pat O'Brien. It was something about on the Hudson. I don't remember, but it was like the East Side Kids.
Yeah,
and
I know what you're talking about.
the big guy was going to the chair, and he'll spit in their eye. Yeah, he'll go out tough, and Pat O'Brien had to come back and say, "Nah," he went out like a bitch, screaming, yelling. And I said, I had a reputation on lightweight and welterweight.
Yeah, champion in prison.
I said, "You know what? Let me die with dignity, Lord. I'll say your name every day, and I'll do whatever."
You made
I
a
can
promise.
for my fellow inmate. I didn't thought I was getting out of prison. And by the grace of God, that was May. That was Cinco de Mayo, 1968. I went to board in 1969 in July. Yeah, July. And I remember the parole agent said, "Trejo, we're getting sick of you." And I remember saying, "What's a pleasant way to start a conversation between two gentlemen?" And he says, "We're kicking you out of here. You got a 10-year top. Bring us back a life sentence." So they had no hope of me being successful on the streets.